Hello, hello. Hello, Twitch. So where did we leave off? We've been playing Hobgoblin Warrior, and we've been climbing up. We're up to rank 7 so far. We've played this straight from rank 16. So far we have a win rate of 73.8%. That's despite throwing away a lot of winnable games, but you could also say that it's also offset by the fact that I'm playing a lot of weak opponents and some that just give up before their game is lost. So we'll continue climbing up, see if we can hit Legend with this deck, and we'll making adjustments along the way. Although I haven't found a lot that I feel like. What was I saying? Oh, I haven't found that a lot of adjustments have been necessary. Alright, so Hunter has been a good matchup for us so far, but I don't know how much that will hold. It also depends largely against the type of Hunter. In this matchup, we're looking for some of our earliest drops. Warbot, Task are both great. Oh, almost conceded there. Alright, so here we coin out the Task. It's a really strong play for us. Hello chat, hello Firefly, and everyone else. Direwolf Alpha is an interesting card. So last turn, I did have the option of not coining out the Task and playing the Warbot instead, which actually might have been a better play. Anyways, we'll trade here, and I suppose we'll save the Taskmaster, so we'll play the Warbot and just trade. And now, if the Animal Companion's next, we can Cruel Task the Warbot to deal with whatever comes into play. Alright, so we'll trade, we'll drop the Task and kill it.
Battle commencing.
Not ideal, but we are dealing with his threats reasonably so far while maintaining some semblance of board control. Alright, so he's most assuredly face Hunter now, so the traps that we worry about later we know are going to be explosive trap. Here it's a little bit awkward for us. We trade into the Wolf Rider, and I suppose we play our Piloted Shredder. Going to take 4 more damage from the Leper Gnome, putting us at 17. Plus he has the Hero Power, which puts us at 15. Unless we draw into some of our taunts, we might actually just lose this game.
I'll show them all.
Get in there and fight, maggot!
Alright, well, we trade into Leper Gnome, puts it at 13. We ideally want a Hero Power, if at all possible, so we might play the Warsong Commander. He has 6 damage on the board when we're at 15, because the Hero Power cancels out. So that puts us at 9. We could Death Spite, we'll take more damage, but then we won't have to remove it this next turn. I think we can use minions to do the removal. So we'll play the Warsong Commander and we'll Hero Power. And I guess we'll take out the Abusive Sergeant. As if we can defer the damage, it might be worth it for a few turns. In the end, it's not really going to matter. Alright, so he's top decking now. I do not have a Shaman deck I can recommend for ranked right now. So looks like we might be dead on board this turn. I guess we want to see what our Shredder gets us. He has, what, 6 damage when you count the Leper Gnome. I hero power. So the top deck kills us, and he also has Explosive Trap. So I guess the first thing I need to do is I want to see what the Shredder gets us. And then I guess we just play what we can in hero power. Unfortunately, we can't attack. I might have needed to change the sequencing in which I attack. But in the end, that's the only difference is 3 damage, and I'm most likely dead anyways. So what could have gone differently here? Really not a whole lot I can do. I just play what I got. I'm just waiting for his top deck to end the game. My only hope is really to draw Fraughting for massive damage combo, but I'm not really able to do anything either way. Hades Pro at LOL asks, "Hey Razor, I remember you used the OTK deck, am I right?" I guess most people saw the highlights of that deck performing 1-turn kills, and then they immediately thought, alright, it's an OTK deck. It actually isn't, it's just a deck with a potential high burst combo, but essentially I think we're talking about the same thing. So yeah, I'm probably the guy that you remember with the OTK deck. I mean, the way I look at it is that the deck I played was about as OTK as like Druid's Force combo is, unless you were talking about my older Molten Giant combo deck, which was definitely an OTK deck. Okay, so this is a slightly better hand. It lets us stabilize the early game a little bit better. Assuming that this is Face Hunter again, we do have the option of coining out anything we want here. We could coin out the Annoyotron, and that will stop the Worgen Infiltrator. What happens if I wait? If I wait, I'll drop Taskmaster on the Worgen next turn.
What now?
Alternately, I could play the Mech Warper. No, the Mech Warper doesn't help. So the decision is either between playing a Noyotron or just passing the turn. I'm just trying to figure out, if I wait 1 turn to drop the Taskmaster, does that put me too far behind in tempo? So what is his turn 2 play? Alright, I'll coin out the Noyotron because his turn 2 play could be Mad Scientist, and I would be put pretty far behind on tempo if that's the case. Nothing for us to task, so we'll just play the Mech Warper here. Alright, so the Noyotron eats a fair amount of damage. This is almost the polar opposite of how the previous game went, in that our early game is actually extremely dominant here. We're going to save the Cogmaster and Hobgoblin for turn 4. Which means for 3 mana, we'd like to play our Shredder here, and we'll just reduce the damage. Sorry to hear you're lagging, Namir SC2. It's too bad. I guess I need to be a partner to have quality options, is what I'm told. Alright, so we'll trade into the Misha. It's pretty straightforward. And we'll attack, play the Hobgoblin, and get the Cogmaster nice and big, 5-4. Not bad. Need to be a little bit careful about Unleash. But I don't think we could really hold back any minions without holding back on how we can develop our board. Alright, so he's just going all face here. He thinks he can outrace us, and you know, that he might be right, he might not be right. We'll see. So we could even play Acolyte Task and really, really overextend into Unleash the Hounds. Well, I think I'm gonna do it anyways. So I know I want to play the Acolyte because of Hobgoblin. And then how much damage do I have? I have 11 damage. I could have 2 more now, puts at 13, puts him at 14. I don't think that's necessary though, so I'm not going to buff that, and I'll just buff this for an extra draw because I am kind of running low on cards. So even if he does have Unleash, or double Unleash even, at best I think he can draw even. So that's typically how I expect the Face Hunter matchup to go if everything goes according to plan. You get some strong early game cards and just snowball your tempo from there. I think what really helps is the Enoyotron gets a lot of value in the Face Hunter matchup. In our game, it ended up trading with 2 Worgens, I believe, 2 cards from him, and at no loss of tempo for me. Right, we're up against Rogue now. Assuming that this is Oil or Miracle style Rogue, it's actually one of the harder matchups. I might keep this whole hand, as sometimes the early drops aren't really good against Rogue because they have so many great ways to deal with it. But I like keeping the Frothing because it usually eats 2 removals, and then Hobgoblin Cogmaster turn 4 is good. This is actually a really difficult matchup for us, primarily because of Blade Flurry. We're holding on the Cogmaster. Maybe I should have played it. Maybe I should have gone really aggressive, but I kept it with the intent to play with the Hobgoblin, and because I had the Mech Warper, I have a turn 2, a turn 3, and a turn 4 play, which is fine by me. Alright, so he backstabs and hero powers, which is fine. That actually is good for me because he wastes a charge on his dagger, which means he can't just deadly poison and eviscerate next turn without potentially wasting some of the deadly poison. Which means either the Frothing Berserker lives or he has to find a more efficient way to remove it. So he might need like a second backstab and SI agent. Okay. That unfortunately isn't great for me because I can't kill it straight up. I do have the Death Spite, and I will do that because I want to protect the Frothing Berserker's HP. Tekko Claw says, "Hi Razor, I want to pass on your link, but it shows a blank sheet." I'm not exactly sure what that means. You mean the link to my website, or the... You might need to tell me which link you're talking about. Alright, so we have a nice Hobgoblin turn where you can play 2 minions. We also want to get rid of the Thalnos so that his Flurry is a lot weaker. Because with Deadly Poison, the spell power is enough to kill the Cogmaster in a Flurry. Alright, so I will attack to get rid of it. And then we'll play the Hobgoblin with the Cogmaster and the Warbot. Alright, I'm gonna have to look into that issue, Techo Claus. I know that the website might have some issues with certain browsers or certain devices. Okay, so holding on to the weapon might have made more sense here because of the Violet Teacher.
I am ready to learn.
Wow, but he is burning a lot of cards here. Unfortunately, that means that Jeeves is gonna kind of break even between the two of us.
I am ready to learn.
At the very least, he doesn't have an SI agent, a sap. So we'll get rid of the Violet Teacher, and we'll play the Warsong Frothing, and I need to think about how much I actually want to clear. I could have even gone all face here, but I don't feel great about that. If we attack and we attack, he can still trade everything into the Frothing and kill it. So, what happens if we just go all face here? I think we lack the damage to finish him. So I think I'm going to use the Warbot to clear one of these. And then I guess I'll send this one face, since that's worth a lot more damage. So I ultimately lose 2 damage for the ability to kill one of the apprentices. Let's see. So I think using that Death Spite the previous turn is probably the most costly thing in this game so far.
Ha, this guy's toast.
But we're actually trading pretty close to even in this matchup so far. The question is, are our top decks better than his top decks? So we could trade here, it'll protect our Jeeves, and then what are we going to do with the Cruel Taskmaster? If we just go face here, hit him for 6, puts him at 11, that might make more sense. So Jeeves actually could work really well for us if he has something like a Sprint, because he won't be able to dump his hand as easily. I'm also thinking about maybe buffing my Jeeves to a 3-3. Deadly Poison would allow him to kill Jeeves, but he would also take 3 damage instead. In any case, I think I have to play these two for the maximum draw, and we'll do that. Alright, so Dr. Boom is a pretty good threat here. We probably should have considered focusing more on damage, as we'll make his hero power worse and worse. Okay, so looks like he's going to spend a flurry on this to clear it, which I'm actually okay with, because that leaves him with only 1 card, and we play Dr. Boom on the empty board. So, so Attorney at Lal says he won't want to kill Jeeves, otherwise he won't benefit. The thing about him not killing Jeeves is, like, maybe the card that he has left in his hand is Sprint. If it's Sprint, then he'd most certainly want to kill Jeeves, because it's really hard for him to leverage it for good value. Okay, so we hit him for 7, we hit him for 8, and then we kill him with Warbot.
Battle detected. Battle commencing.
Not too bad. It's a difficult matchup, but we did get some favorable trades. We didn't get an overpowered draw or anything, but the cards that we played were threatening enough for us to basically get value out of our card. Like, he had to spend 2 cards to deal with some of the cards that we played. Turning at Lol says, well, it's damned if he does, damned if he doesn't. Killing the Jeeves, that is, means I drew 3 cards and he drew none. Yeah. Overall, that's what makes Jeeves a really nice card in this deck. It might be a mistake to keep the Screwjank here. But I will have 2 mechs in play, and Druids don't typically have early plays. Like, let me think about this. If I coin out both these guys, he'll just Wrath on curve. Alternately, he might be looking to Wild Growth. I saw that he kept a card, which means he's probably kept a Wild Growth. So if I coin out the MechWarrior, he most likely won't be able to kill it. The thing is, I don't have a follow-up play. So let's say that I don't use my coin and I just wait. Or maybe I play the Warbot. And he Wild Growths. I play MechWarrior. And then next turn, I guess I could coin out the Screwjank Clunker. So I guess coining out the MechWarrior only really gets me extra damage. Okay, so there's the Wild Growth. And now we can MechWarrior and we can coin out the Annoyotron. And he's faced with the decision to kill the MechWarrior or develop his board. If he has Swipe, he gets rid of the Divine Shield, but he also buffs the Warbot. Alright, so we play the Screwjank here. The question is on what? If I buff the Annoyotron, I most likely want to trade if I want to buff the Annoyotron because of Silence. If I don't buff the Annoyotron, then I think I'm more likely going to go all face. If I do, that's 6 damage. I think I'll buff it, and I'll kill the Shredder, just in case of Silence, and then see what it gets. Okay, so then I'll get rid of the... That actually kind of sets me up for Swipe. Kind of. I mean, what does leaving this up... How does this hurt me? I think it only hurts me if he has something like... Savage Roar. He benefits. So if I attack into the Ringleader, then it opens me up to losing 2 cards to swipe. Whereas here, he can only swipe 1 guy down. So I did not trade because of that. Manly Moose says, swipe time, I would trade that. He agrees.
What to do?
And there's the swipe, it's the trade. So I got 2 damage out of that. Okay, so both these are easy plays. Never play Jeeves on an empty board, so I guess we're playing Warsong for no value here. But we do have a pretty threatening board right now. We're dealing 6 damage a turn. And having the Warsong Commander in play is a card that he's going to want to get rid of. Okay, so he silences the Warsong Commander, which honestly isn't the worst thing in the world. Because it remains up. It also means that that's 1 less silence for the Hobgoblin Annoyotron. There's no way to play around Mind Control Techie here. And he's already used the swipe. So we'll play the Hobgoblin, we'll play the Annoyotron, and I'm going to actually trade here, because I don't think... I'm going to wager that he doesn't have a second swipe. it's a good question. Why didn't he just hero power the Warsong Commander last turn? It may be because he was trying to avoid taking extra damage, but the Warsong Commander gets to attack anyways. And this is what I mean about my win rate feels inflated because there are people that are making suboptimal plays. Like, you know, a legend or high legend level player is definitely not going to miss something like that.
Versus Jaina.
You asked for it.
Victory or death!
Alright, up against Mage, we really do want the early drops, because if we get a good Cogmaster Warbot, Fire War Axe, or Neotron combo, then, oops, don't want to keep the Execute. We can dominate the early game if he is Mech Mage, and we always mulligan assuming it's Mech Mage. So this is a really, really strong hand. If he misses a 1-drop, which I don't think he did, Zombie Chow. Alright, this actually calls into question, what exactly is he playing? I could coin out the Mech Warper, and then he would attack Hero Power the Mech Warper, which means he doesn't develop the board, but this seems to just suggest that he's playing something that's more on the controlling side. Kind of mid-range controlling side, maybe like Duplicate, Water Elementals, maybe even Molten Giant, who knows. So what happens if I hold on to my Mech Warper? The following turn I can coin Mech Warper and drop a Neotron and Warbot all on the same turn. So that's only good if he doesn't have a follow-up play like Mad Scientist. Okay, I'll wait one turn. I saw that he kept no cards. I don't remember if he kept this one. And I need this unstable portal to miss. Web Spinner. Alright. The Web Spinner actually does cause me some issue. Because it gives him a way to pop the Neotron. So I'll play Mech Warper, coin a Neotron Warbot. What will he do? He'll attack with the Web Spinner, attack with the Zombie Chow. The Zombie Chow will be a 2/2. I'll lose the Neotron. I'll still have Mech Warper Warbot up. I won't have coin. Next turn, turn 3, I play Cogmaster nothing, unless I draw into a mech. I mean, I guess I could live with this. It's not optimal. But what this is going to force... this doesn't actually force an awful lot. It might have been better to be more aggressive to get rid of the Zombie Chow earlier. But I do, you know, get some okay tempo with the Mech Warper. Because I got a cost reduction of 2 between the 2 cards that I played, and the Mech Warper stays up. What does he play? Does he Hero Power my Mech Warper in advance? He just Frostbolts it. Okay. Which is really unfortunate for me. But he didn't develop his board very much either. Overall, this isn't the best start against this kind of matchup. He's more mid-range-ish, so it actually was really important that I establish better tempo.
Mind if I roll need?
Let's see. I don't think it makes sense to develop my Neotron here, which means it's either Piloted Shredder or Death Spite. I think Piloted Shredder is better. And then I believe he's going to trade into it anyway, so I might as well deal the damage. The Zombie Chow really did mess things up for us. I think if we drew into a Fiery War Axe, the game would be a whole different story because we could develop our board a lot better before that happened. Okay, plays a secret. And I suppose we're going to assume that it is Mirror Entity. Which means, I guess I'll play the weapon if I'm not afraid of Harrison, and then drop a Neutron Shredder next turn.
I'll fix you.
And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this isn't Mirror Entity, because he is running kind of a weird list. It could just be Duplicate. And then I missed the chance on developing a strong card. Okay, so Hobgoblin is pretty nice. It also gives him a crappier Mirror Entity target. If it's Duplicate, then I might just ignore the Lotheb. Okay, so we'll play Hobgoblin first. Okay, so it is Mirror Entity. And then we'll play a Neutron. Then, what's the best way to deal with this? I am a little bit afraid of Flame Strike. But I think we have to kill the Hobgoblin on the off chance he does have things like Mana Worm. I guess I'll attack, and then what will happen? He'll ping the Neutron, attack in, and then I'll trade the Cogmaster in afterwards. Okay, I think I'm okay with this line of play. Alternately, he would attack in and Flame Strike, and then I'd use my weapon and then play Dr. Boom. So I still have the initiative either way. So it's really up to him to make a play that puts him back into this game.
I wonder.
It's too bad Hobgoblin doesn't work with the boom bots. And it's not a bug, that's just the way Hobgoblin was designed as far as I know. Why not trade into the Lotheb so the Divine Shield absorbs 5 damage instead of 1? You keep the 3/4, no Divine Shield. Yeah, you're probably right. I think my main concern was I was afraid about what the Hobgoblin could buff. So we attack the piloted Shredder here. What's the best way to deal with this? Oh, that's awkward. That was definitely not the optimal play. I panicked a little bit because I was taking a little bit too long.
Mind if I roll need?
Are we getting close enough to lethal? We're still 6 damage off, so I guess I'll clear this. So, let's see, that turn when I used my Death Spite on the Dr. Boom, I think the better play might have been to play Dr. Boom, trade the Cogmaster into the Shredder, That's a good card. So he does run Defender of Argus. So I could opt for the very, very aggressive play of going all face and then kill him over 2 turns, assuming he doesn't have any way to heal or taunt. Of course, there is also the risk that this is duplicate, and I wouldn't want to kill the Defender of Argus anyways.
Here it comes.
I must choose.
This is... I'm playing on a lot of faith here. It's basically on faith that he doesn't have a heal, he doesn't have a second taunt. Alright, he runs Sludge Belcher, unfortunately.
I'll show them. I'll show them all.
Can I help you, sir? Can I help you, sir?
Okay, the good news is that at the least it wasn't duplicate. That's actually a pretty big deal. And if we draw into Warsong Commander, I think we win the game. The fact that he does run Sludge Belcher, guess shouldn't come as a surprise, because the unstable portal versions of Mage that I've seen tend to be more mid-range-ish and do run Sludge Belcher. Ooh, that's really bad for us.
My shield for Argus.
He has taunts and taunts for days. But he has a Jeeves, which means we'll get Jeeves value even if ours is dead. So I'm thinking I might not even play my Acolyte of Pain here, because the extra card I draw I lose anyways. We play Hobgoblin Jeeves. So I think we tap into Argus, we play Hobgoblin Jeeves and Acolyte of Pain. Or we don't attack. And then save it for save it for the Frothing Berserker, perhaps. But we do need to chew through all these minions. We would need a second Whirlwind effect. I think maybe I'll save the Death Spite.
Can I help you, sir?
Hey, speak to me.
Let me get that.
Because I'm not really getting an awful lot of value by attacking. All I do is weaken these guys, but not in a manner where the damage is going to make a difference. So how many cards do I have left in my deck? 11, and I have at least one draw over Acolyte unless he silences it. Maybe even 2 draws. Maybe even 3. So Warsong Commander will be a golden draw for us. It's part of the reason why it's in the deck. It enables us to get out of situations that we might otherwise lose. And also just looks really cool. We also have to hope that he doesn't run Ice Block in his deck for whatever reason.
Time runs out on me.
Oh my god.
My shield for Argus.
Alright, let's see. We do have a clear avenue to attack him, finally. And how many cards do we have left in our deck? 8. So we have a 1 in 4 chance. And we know he has additional taunts, so it's better to clear here. I'm trying to remember, did he use both mirror entities already? I think he did. So which means the card that's left is something like duplicate. So how do we do this? I guess we clear the board. He's gonna get duplicate. We'll play 1 Frothing, 1 Warbot, 1 Cogmaster.
I can fix anything.
And it looks like the last card might be Counterspell or Ice Block, depending. So not duplicate, it's Counterspell or Ice Block. Those are the only two that I'm really concerned about anyways. Fortunately for me, the only spell I have in my deck is Execute, and it's not really relevant to the current situation.
Show them. I'll show them all. I'll show them. I'll show them all.
So I guess we'll see if it's... Oh my gosh. Alright, Warsong Commander. So we... Axe a Scientist. Can we play everything in our hand? Yes, we can. So we'll just play these two. And then
I'll fix you.
this will trade.
Back to work.
For science.
No problem. I strike. I strike.
Battle commencing.
I strike.
There we go. It seems very unlikely to run Ice Block, but I just wanted to be sure. Wow, that was kind of a dicey game. There was a moment where I thought I was going to lose that for sure, because he just kept dropping taunts after taunts after taunts.
Garrosh versus Garrosh. Victory or death! I will crush you!
Alright, but so far so good. Warrior is a difficult matchup. Hobgoblin can be good. I'm gonna hold on to Hobgoblin. Let's see if it's good in this matchup. The strategy with Hobgoblin against Warrior is that you save it and cast as many small minions as possible. So I'm not going to play Warbot, and I'm not going to play Hobgoblin on turn 3. Thomas Klink asks, is there another card I could swap Dr. Boom for? So, oh, this is interesting. MechWarrior versus MechWarrior. Alright. If I play the Neutron here, it doesn't get me anything.
What now?
Except some damage on the Mech Warper. I feel like I might need to play it though, because I really need to fight for board tempo. Especially if he plays something like an Neutron next turn. Then... alright, I'll wait a turn. See if that helps. But yeah, the question about Dr. Boom. Not sure how serious the question is, but Dr. Boom actually wasn't the first card I originally included in this deck. I might actually lose this because I'm holding back on cards too much. Yeah, Gromash actually is what I put in before I put in Dr. Boom. He should be an okay replacement. So I play Frothing Berserker, he attack. I still have to wait. And then just pray that he doesn't have a Neutron.
Armor made to fit.
Alright, Armor Smith is interesting. It means that with the current board state, I'm not going to be able to beat him on life. I need to beat him on card advantage and board control.
Back to work.
I mean, I wouldn't say that if you don't have Gromash, you should not play Warrior. I mean, I don't have Gromash in this deck, and I'm still playing it, right? Oh, gosh. I want to be so greedy with my Dr. Boom. Well, I am a little bit worried about dying, so I think playing the Neutron, or playing the Acolyte of Pain, is probably being far too greedy. So I attack, I take 3 damage, he's gonna War Axe my Hobgoblin, but I have 2 big minions left on board. And then what do I follow it up with next turn? I'll have Acolyte and Frothing to back up my minions. Alternately, if I play the Neutron behind the Hobgoblin, does that help my Hobgoblin live? He taps. It actually might help my Hobgoblin live, so I'll give that a try. He's gonna need an extra spell to be able to punch through and get to my Hobgoblin. And if he can't kill it, then I get incredible value next turn. It's very ambitious, but I think it's worth a try. His deck is very confusing. I'm not really sure if he'll run something like Shield Slam, for example. That attack suggests he probably can't kill Hobgoblin. And then, like, I think it's also unlikely that he runs Brawl. So I'm just gonna flood the board here.
Battle detected.
So another card that you could replace Dr. Boom in, because the idea of Dr. Boom is that I want a card that I can play with no conditions, in that, like, on an empty board, I just want to play something for maximum value. So, given that constraint, or that requirement, the Piloted Sky Golem also works as a card that you could replace Dr. Boom with. So we'll trade and we'll play Dr. Boom.
Fix you.
Battle commencing.
Because it didn't look like he had Brawl last turn. So this is some sort of like mid-range mech deck that runs Shield Maidens, so he probably runs Shield Slam, but he didn't draw it, because otherwise he would have the ability to kill my Hobgoblin in the previous turn. So still no board removals.
Defensive systems online.
Battle commencing.
I'll attack him too, and I guess I'll hold the Warbot. I have such a strong board that I'm not going to lose because I don't have a strong enough board. I'm going to lose because he has a board clear. So he needs to, like, not have the Boombots kill him here, even if he does find a way to clear. So yeah, like, if you don't have Growmash, you don't have Dr. Boom, you could replace him with the Piloted in this deck, and I think it would still be pretty decent. Lotheb is also kind of okay, but what I don't like about Lotheb is that he doesn't provide as much value. He does provide tempo because he can protect your board from a board clear spell, but he has, like, not as much value packed in as some other cards, like the Piloted Sky Golem, or even Cairn you could put in. Basically, I need, like, one or two cards that give this deck more value, because I have a lot of really small minions, so at times I feel like I'm lacking in card quality. So Annoyotron isn't that good against Paladin, because his hero power just negates the Divine Shield, but what he does do is that he does negate his hero power, so I will hold on to it, and I'm going to mulligan the rest because I want to draw into a 1-drop or something earlier than a 4. I have many turns to draw into a 4-drop. This is great. So this is a very aggressive start, because the Cogmaster, Annoyotron, allows me to get some damage in, and if he coins out the Knife Juggler, I have an axe for it.
Shields up.
Shielded Minibot means I'll be playing Annoyotron instead. And I have 2 of them, so it's going to be annoying for him to bust through this. So my next biggest concern is I need to be careful about overextending into Consecrate.
Put this apple on your head.
Alright, multiple Jeeves. So I'm probably going to trade here, because if I leave any of these up, then it's going to eat my Annoyotron for free. And I don't have, like, the follow-up to play a game where I'm really going to rush him down. So I'll War Axe the Shielded Minibot and trade the Knife Juggler. Because I have 2 Jeeves in my hand, I might even consider playing one of them if I don't have a better play.
Reporting for duty.
I don't need to worry about Quartermaster quite yet. So I don't really need to trade. The question is, do I want to save my weapon, or do I want to kill off one of these Silverhand recruits? Like, I like playing Jeeves here, and then playing Annoyotron Warbot, or Jeeves Warbot next turn. But I do like the idea of getting 2 minions into play. Like let's say I play Annoyotron. I'm not that vulnerable to Consecrate, am I? He'll send 1 to kill the Anoitron, consecrate, he'll have 2 minions left. Then he'll use the weapon to kill the Warbot. So, like I said, I'm not worried about Quartermaster. It's just about, like, how do I best plan my turn? Alright. We'll do this just as a means of being less vulnerable to consecrate. At least I get a little bit more value out of it. And I'll save the weapon in case he has something a little bit beefier. It's a very lackluster turn for him. That also means that he doesn't actually spend anything on emptying his hand. Ooh, so that's a clear sign that he has Quartermaster. That he's not even attacking. Not even trading in. So I will be trading in instead. And I'm even going to axe away this... kill this token. Maybe I'll just use Cruel Task instead of the weapon, though. And hold off on Jeeves. I do have 2 Jeeves. Well, he still needs to deal with the first Jeeves, so I guess I will get rid of this token by using the weapon. Because this is more resilient against Consecrate. Okay, Sludge Belcher. Makes me kind of wish I didn't do that, but I was semi-prepared for this. So we'll play Hobgoblin, Cogmaster, Task. We can kill the Sludge Belcher. We're gonna lose our Jeeves next turn.
Battle commencing.
But it's a pretty strong board for us. Because even if he has a board clear, I still have 2 cards in my hand. Or 3 cards. I get 2 cards from Jeeves. So Jeeves has net me 3 cards so far, while netting him 0 cards.
I have no time for
Sylvanas, okay. Alright, so I can't... There's no way I can sacrifice everything I have on the board. I might actually just ignore Sylvanas here. But I can't dump my hand very effectively. So the safer play is to trade, clear, weapon. How can this backfire if I just go all in? Oh, it can backfire so spectacularly. Alright, let's go all in. I don't quite have enough damage.
I've got the beast in my sights.
Okay.
My shield for Argus.
Wow, he kept my Jeeves alive. That's actually, like, really good for me. Okay, so assuming that he drops Tyrion next turn... Wait, do I win? I execute War Axe. He will steal a card from me, so... I guess we'll play the MechWarrior, we'll play the Warbot, we'll get this attack in first. So if he steals the Jeeves, I'm okay with it. Execute, see what he steals. He steals the Jeeves, no big deal.
Commencing.
I'll fix you for the Wolfo.
Easy game. Alright, we're rank 5. This is where like the more serious games start. But you know, we're already kind of in that range where we're up against competitive decks. And the fact that our homebrew version of Hobgoblin Warrior is doing quite well. Against, you know, what would be considered fairly competitive decks. So I'm starting to believe that this deck might be legit. Maybe not a legit top deck, but you know, a legit deck that at the very least you're not playing something that is just a steaming pile of crap. Ooh, double MechWarrior, that's good. This is the first Shaman I've faced. So the ideal play is to play MechWarrior on turn 2, coin out the second MechWarrior, and then still have something to play after that. Which means I want cheaper cards. Like Warbot. Warbot's good. But I might actually play Warbot turn 1. Let's see, if I coin out MechWarrior, Warbot, then he's gonna have to crackle the MechWarrior, or use a Rockbiter, which means he doesn't develop a totem. I don't have any other bigger mechs, so I think I might as well use the coin, maybe?
What now?
Because playing the MechWarrior allows me to contest his turn 2 plays. Like, if he plays a Hunted Creeper, I can kill the Creeper and use the Warbot to kill one of the tokens. If he plays a Totem, I can kill it with the MechWarrior. So, like, the next thing I need to be concerned about is Lightning Storm. I mean, not that the games earlier weren't serious, but, you know, the higher up I go, the more difficult my opponents get. And the more difficult they get, the more I can actually see if this deck, you know, is the real deal. Ooh. That's a sweet, sweet Screwjank. So there is a part of me that wants to buff this in a way that makes me as strong against Lightning Storm as possible. But I don't really see any plays to do that outside of using a weapon. So he needs Spell Power Lightning Storm, and then that will be a really nice clear. Because I had the coin, that coin isn't an option, so he can't actually do that this turn. Mana Tide? Alright, well, we gotta kill that Mana Tide.
I cannot do
Battle commencing.
Okay, we Jeeves for one card, and then he'll have to deal with the Jeeves. But then I'll still have a full board. Jeeves won't be killed by any AoE, I think, so I'm okay with this. I'll even attack with this axe, because Jeeves might cycle me into more weapons, and I need to get the weapons out of the way. So what's his play? His play is Hero Power Lightning Storm, and clears out both MechWarriors and the Warbot, leaves the Jeeves up so I can still play the Jeeves. It's going to be difficult to get rid of all these cards out of my hand. Alright, so absolutely killing off the Wrath of Air Totem. Next turn, we do have Warsong Frothing available to us. Hobgoblin isn't going to get any value here. In fact, I'm not even able to get Jeeves value unless I dump and execute. So I'm going to forget about Jeeves value. How much damage do I have on the board? 5, 8, 11. Puts him at 9 if I attack with everything. But I have to get rid of the Spell Power Totem. Alright, so this I know is going to go here. I guess I could attack the Creeper, kill. And then, do I even really need to play anything else? I feel like I should probably not let this Hobgoblin be killed in an AoE. Alright, that's fine. That's actually more than fine. Is he dead? He might be dead. Let's see. MechWarrior's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 13, 15, 17. Am I 1 damage off lethal? I have to count this one more time. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. I'm 1 damage off lethal.
I wonder.
Well, I'm dumping my hands so I can get the
Battle commencing. Battle.
value out of the...
Battle commencing.
I counted multiple times. I'm pretty sure I was 1 damage off lethal.
Get back.
There are just too many threats for him to deal with. He needs like a really, really good lightning storm. Yeah, so when I was counting, you notice that I counted every minion as 2 damage, because when you throw a 1 attack damage minion, you end up buffing the Frothing Berserker by 2 attack. So it's better to use the 1 damage minions to attack into a minion, so you can get more damage out of your Frothing Berserker. Unfortunately, even with that, it wasn't enough. I was 1 damage off lethal, but it would have been a really nice way to finish off that game.
You asked for it.
Alright, we're up against Mech Mage. We really want the Fiery War Axe, Cogmaster, Warbot, and Neutron, so we're shipping everything back. Someone's asking why don't I play my Math Warrior? Well, you could say that this is a revised version of Math Warrior. It still has the same combo in it, right? Like, I'm still debating on what I should name this deck exactly. When I, if I release this list to everybody, should I call it Razor Warrior? Should I call it Hobgoblin Warrior? Should I just, like, say it's the updated version of Math Warrior for GVG? I mean, you guys can vote, help me decide. Or you can even suggest other names. Hobo Math, pretty funny. Oof, that's rough, that's rough. This is like old school mage. Old school mage. I guess we play the MechWarrior and we just punch. Hopefully we can make it so these mirror images don't get a lot of value. Morris says, Bad Razor, really been enjoying seeing a new deck in action. Thank you very much. I love playing new decks and making new decks. I feel like, you know, there are a lot of people playing the most popular decks. A lot of people making, like, tweaking them by a couple cards, and I feel like I don't need to do that because there are so many really good players already doing that. Local Champ says, it's the Tiddler YOLO Mage, which kind of is a throwback to Mage way back in the day. So I know this list is very aggressive. It runs something like Ice Lance. Okay, that's actually surprisingly good for me because I have the Cruel Taskmaster to deal with it. And then I'm gonna have to start using these weapons very aggressively. Roll asks that you don't need any more BlizzCon qualifier points. I feel like I don't have the time to put in to get high ranks every season. So I have the bare minimum I need to be able to enter their last qualifier. No, not the bare minimum. I have more than the bare minimum. But I have enough points for the last qualifier tournament. Let's see. I think it's better to set up the Death Spite here because he's going to use the Mana Worm to kill off the Cruel Taskmaster, and I can use the Whirlwind effect to kill off the Mana Worm. Calculus Warrior. I mean, the thing about this deck, though, it's far less complex than the previous Warrior deck, because I don't have things like Unstable Ghoul to basically make the lethal computations even harder. It's a lot simpler to play. So my stream schedule is Tuesdays and Thursdays about 5 to 7, and I will occasionally stream when I have extra time on weekends or other weekdays.
Show them all.
So it's moments like these where I wish I knew exactly what this deck runs. Because I don't know what secret to expect. I assume it's probably Mirror Entity. I might be able to afford to leave the Mad Scientist up. But then that all I get is extra face damage. Maybe not, maybe not.
Speak to me.
Pan says ice blocks, I believe. You know what? You might actually be right there about that. I remember actually taking a quick glance at the list. It might actually be ice block. Because it's so burst heavy, it might have actually made more sense for me to hero power instead of weapon here. Because the key to beating this is just dealing with their board and hero powering every turn once you feel like your board state is strong enough.
Well played.
Yeah, it feels like the game might already be over, but we'll see. We'll play the Warsong Commander first, see if it's actually Mirror Entity, and then we'll axe it away. Wait, let's assume that it's not Ice Block and it might be Duplicate. What is scarier to me? Probably the Leper Gnomes. So I'll kill off the Warsong Commander.
Bring the pain.
And then I'm gonna hero power this turn instead of getting the extra damage because I want to protect my Hobgoblin and I want to protect my life total. Actually, I might not even want to play Jeeves. Actually, I most certainly don't want to play Jeeves. I don't want him to refill my hand. Jeeves have been so good for me in so many matchups that I kind of forgot that there are occasions where I might not actually want to play it.
We hunger for vengeance.
Shame I don't have a mech. Oh, but that's actually a good thing I don't have a mech. So I play Hobgoblin, I play Cogmaster. I'm frozen, but the Cogmaster allows me to deal with the Mana Worm. I punch the Thalnos, go and hero power, and it's easy game. Like, if I had one play not to do, it's Jeeves is absolutely not getting played ever until, like, no, he's just never getting played. Because his main way to win is to burst me out, and I don't want to give him the cards to be able to do that. Alright, so my Warsong Commander is silenced, so might as well sacrifice it. And we'll kill off this owl. We'll play the weapon just so we can set up for Jeeves, potentially, if we really, really want to. But overall, we're never playing the Jeeves. I think unless Unless we can use it to, like, deal fatigue lethal. Hey, thanks Koyuki for the host again. Wow, that ice block value, or the ice lance value. Oh yeah, I probably missed 2 damage because of, I wasn't paying attention. I don't know, I'm not even sure if I actually missed 2 damage. But, like, mainly it's don't play Jeeves at the end and hero power every turn, and that matchup is, like, easy. I mean, use both ice lances just to freeze my weapon for no damage.
You asked for it.
Alright, so we're gonna mulligan, assuming he's Mech Mage again. This makes Fiery War Axe the first priority to keep, and then after we decide we want to keep Fiery War Axe, the question is, do we want to keep Cogmaster? In this case, we might play Cogmaster turn 1, use the Axe to protect the Cogmaster, and then play Frothing, which means I don't think we need the Hobgoblin. Alright, we should check if this is the same person. It's not the same person. Alright, we'll try this. I think this will work for us. So we mulligan the Hobgoblin to get the Hobgoblin back, so in the end our mulligan didn't really matter there. The only thing we could have done differently is if we mulligan different cards. So he had no turn 1 play, which is half of a good sign. We have no mech to follow up the Cogmaster, so I probably should have considered actually holding on to this.
I'll show them. I'll show them all.
And the Fiery War Axe here will be used to protect our Cogmaster. And then we'll see if this is something like Ice Barrier, but it's not. Okay, so he's gonna hero power down our Cogmaster. Seems like a good time to play Frothing Berserker. Oh shoot, I forgot about for some reason I thought this was Freeze Mage. I totally spaced out there. I should have attacked into it and then weaponed it. Yeah, lose focus for a second and everything goes to crap. Where's the Hobo Math option for naming this deck? Maybe I'll add that as one of the options. I think most people won't get it though, as far as like, they won't know what the deck has anything to do with math. It's kind of almost an inside joke for people who know my previous deck. So yeah, so big misplay. This game could be far more dominant. Koyuki says, Razor, you should call this deck Goblins and Gnomes. I can't believe I made that mistake. That's, like, I don't know. I was saying, like, oh, this is going to be Mech Mage. Oh, this is going to be Mech Mage. And I thought, you know, maybe it could also be Freeze Mage. And now it's such a disaster. So, like, I could have this Frothing Berserker completely gone. I don't know if we should play this game. This seems really this game of chicken. Yeah, but I mean, it's easy enough to play around Mirror Entity. Like, the problem was that I just attacked and... Ooh. Ow. That's no good. Okay, so I do take a lot of damage from this. Oh, I'm kind of upset about that mistake I made earlier. But alright, we'll get rid of the Frothing Berserker, and then what? We can Hobgoblin plus Acolyte of Pain. Let's see what we get from the Shredder first. That's strong. So assuming that he hero powers this, and I play Hobgoblin Coin Acolyte. He kills the Hobgoblin. Yeah, I should rage quit. So I lose the Hobgoblin. I need to deal 1 damage on the Bomb Lobber. He hero powers, so he has 4 mana to deal. All right, we'll just do this.
Pain, speak to me.
Well, if there is good news, is that he's playing out his hand very slowly, which allows us to get Jeeves' value a lot faster, or make Jeeves more of an asymmetrical effect, where I'll draw cards and he won't. Especially if he hero powers the Captain's Parrot. I think as Mech Mage, you actually want to use your hero power as little as possible. Oh, that's a shame. But that does mean I can kill the Bomb Lobber, and also means that he develops his board much slower. What do I want? I want like a Warbot.
Powering up. Portals online.
Is it too ambitious to use my Execute now? It might be. I want to save the Execute for Dr. Boom, or like Archmage Antonidas. But I do get to draw 2 cards. There's no other way to draw 2 cards. Either that or I don't draw any cards. He's already starting to lower his hand. So I feel like I need to play Jeeves now rather than later.
Powering up.
Can I help you, sir?
Online.
Alright, we'll execute MechWarrior. So much worth, right? So much value. But at least we get to draw 2 cards, and he's going to be concerned about how do I deal with this Jeeves. Can he dump his hand quickly enough? Like, I will regret this a lot if he plays Dr. Boom. And the regret. Much regret. Alright, but we can still deal with this somewhat. I think the most important things is Jeeves must live.
What now?
Alright, so we're playing War Song, I know that. And then, I guess, we're gonna attack with Jeeves. We're going to... I guess we'll kill a Boombot. It's risky, though, killing both Boombots. Maybe I'll just weapon it. So it lowers the chances of this being bad. Ah, damn. Well, he still needs to choose between killing Jeeves and killing the Warsong Commander. I think what I should have done is play the Cruel Task instead of the weapon. That's unfortunate. Oh, the throws this game. So he should kill the Warsong Commander, I think. But that works too. Alright, I'm gonna take a short break after this just to regain my composure. Let's see how we can deal with... I think he just, like, can finish me off with damage. But anyways, we Boombot, Cruel Task, that's 6 damage. Screwjank is... There's no good way to balance the damage here. I might actually need to give up Jeeves here, just to stay alive. So we play Cruel, buff the Jeeves. Play Warbot, Screwjank. No, there's just no good combination here, I don't think.
Battle detected.
Defensive systems online.
Battle commencing.
Grabbing speed. Over.
Yeah, oh, that's such a disaster. I'm gonna rage quit. I'm gonna get some water and be right back. Alright, we're back. As I was saying, the whole game started to snowball out of control when I didn't play around Mirror Entity, when it was really easy to. Anyways, also, I guess I used the Execute really ambitiously, and let's say that I didn't use the Execute, I might have been able to overcome the whole frothing issue. But overall, that's a game that I can mark down in my book that should have been a win. Let's see. MechWarrior good, Annoyotron Warbot great. So what is my play? Probably coin MechWarrior into Annoyotron, turn 3 Acolyte maybe? Do I want to get something other than Acolyte? Like a weapon, perhaps. I think I can mulligan the Acolyte for like a 1-drop, so I can play it with the Annoyotron. Thorgal9 asks, Bad Razor, are you from USA? Yes, I am from the US of A. Amir SC2 says, Razor, give me your team viewer and I'll pass so I can remote play on your account. Let's see. I think we gotta axe this. So we coin Axe. Next turn we MechWarrior Warbot. Following turn we Annoyotron Hero Power or 3-drop.
What now?
Alright, so coin weapon. Don't know what this is, but moving along. There might be reasons to actually axe this, but it's not really clear, because he could drop Flame Tongue plus Earth Shock or something, but okay. So playing the Annoyotron is actually really strong here, because it prevents him from being able to attack with the Power Mace effectively. Although developing the Frothing Berserker is also very appealing. I guess because he has no mechs, I think playing the Frothing was the more correct play. This, I don't know if you would say, this is a in-development version of the deck, but so far I really like this build. Alright, so playing Jeeves really doesn't net us any value here. So we attack. The Haunted Creeper will punch the shield off. He'll drop the Power Mace, kill the Warbot, and then he'll have 5 mana to play what he wants. He wants to play a mech. I could play Jeeves, but it's possible that he could dump a lot of cards next turn. So overall, I think playing the Anotron would have not been as good as if I played the Frothing last turn. Question is now, do I want to axe anything? I might actually want to axe this spider. It does open me up to Flame Tongue. Alright, so we'll play this first.
Battle commencing.
But he still needs to use 1 spider to get rid of Divine Shield. Alright, we'll attack that, I guess. So he's 1 spider to get rid of Divine Shield. He Flame Tongues, drops a spider. Use the Healing Totem to kill the Frothing Berserker. Then he has 3 mana to drop a mech. Could be Harvest Golem. So the Berserker was like a... There's no question I was going to play the Berserker this turn. It's just a matter of how I want to deal with the combat. Mainly my weapon. Okay, Earth Shock. So where's his mech? What is the mech that he's going to play here? Harvest Golem. Alright, that's actually okay, I guess. Jeeves is going to be a little bit more difficult for me to work with, though. Alright, so I guess we'll axe, and I guess I should save my execute here. But then again, like, I do want to dump my hand. What is his next play? His next play is probably Fire Elemental, in which I'll lose my Warbot. No, I will execute here.
Battle commencing.
This way, I'm dumping cards faster for playing Jeeves. Is there any way I can get out of this? Jeeves is really dangerous, but I don't think I can afford not to play him. So I could attack Warbot into the Harvest Golem, kill the Healing Totem, leaving him with a 2/1, then play Jeeves on that board. And then he plays Fire Elemental, and I pretty much lose from there, I think. Let's say I hold on to the axe, I play Jeeves. I guess I trade it into the Healing Totem, maybe? And then, like, he'll trade the Searing Totem into the Warbot, then run the Harvest Golem. I think I have to save my weapon.
Battle commencing.
I'm not getting enough value out of the weapon if I attack with it. Hello, Ninja Sniper. Hello, hello. I think last turn was a Fire Elemental turn potentially, right? Which means he shouldn't have it. Yeah, you're right, Tai Cheese. That's correct. That's interesting. Well,
Battle commencing.
I guess I have to dump my hand here and then get 2 cards out of Jeeves. I still need a second execute, and he still has the boom bots to deal with the things on the board. Or I guess I could attack into the Dr. Boom. Yeah, I think I like that a little bit better. I don't get Jeeves value now, but next turn he could probably dump his hand anyways. So it's better to forego the Jeeves value. This is much stronger. I like this. So now he needs to deal with the Hobgoblin. Lotheb is all he has for the Hobgoblin. So, now I play for Jeeves.
Can I help you, sir?
And I guess
Goblins and gnomes.
I'm going to buff my Cruel Task, because I think 1 damage the same. And then I get 3 cards, which is nice. And he still needs to deal with my board. I mean, he can still win with like a burst combo. Eh. Alright, but at least like the cards that he draws are just Murlocs. Spells are actually scarier. And that means he gets 0 Jeeves value. So I guess this... What's the plan here? Attack Jeeves in to the Tidecaller. Attack the other Hobgoblin in. Keep the 4/1. Execute. So we play Frothing Berserker first, of course.
Yes, sir. Goblins and gnomes. No problem. Let me get that.
Alright, so the only thing I'm like majorly concerned about is a good Lightning Storm. But he has multiple high priority targets to kill. Frothing, Hobgoblin, Jeeves. Someone even suggested that I consider putting... What's that 1/2 mech that grows every turn? The name escapes me right now. Micro Machine, I think? Alright, so he deals with the immediate biggest threat, but the Jeeves and the Hobgoblin will hurt him in the long term. Micro Machine. Something like that. Yeah, somebody suggested that I even add that into a deck. It also fits the theme of cards that can get stronger every turn. The more turns they're in play, the more value you get out of them. Yeah, Local Champ said he suggested trying it. That's right. Yeah. Sorry I didn't remember that it was you that suggested it, but... yeah, I think it's an interesting idea. The thing that I don't like about Micro Machine is that it has 2 toughness. And the 2 toughness versus a 3 toughness can be a very big deal. Which makes Warbot slightly better because of its 3 toughness, even though it's like not as sexy of a card because it doesn't grow every turn like Micro Machine does. But if I were to try it, I would probably cut 1 Warbot or even a Cogmaster, because the Cogmaster is 2 attack. I mean, 2 toughness.
Victory or death.
Okay, turn 2 Mech Warper into turn 3 Piloted Shredder. If the Mech Warper gets killed, then what? Then I coin out the Shredder. I shouldn't keep heavy cards like this, but against Druid, I feel like I need the Shredder and the Death Spite to better compete with them. Ooh, Zombie Chow is a little bit of an annoyance here. So, no plays this turn. I might actually need to pass my next turn as well. War Axe is exactly what I need though. This will set tempo back in my favor. And then next turn I can play MechWarrior plus a Noyotron. It's also good that he didn't have a Wild Growth. What is this? Druid of the Claw? Sludge Belcher? Okay, Sludge Belcher. So MechWarrior Noyotron, what does that mean? He has the hero power to pop the shield. Or he could swipe. Let's say he swipes. Spends all his mana. Attacks into the Noyotron, putting him at a 3-4. Makes it very awkward for me to deal with. Let's say he doesn't swipe. Let's say he just hero powers. Attacks in. And then I still have the MechWarrior in play. I'd have to sacrifice my MechWarrior. Or play like Warsong Cogmaster. Not optimal, but I think no matter what the play is, I will be attacking the Sludge Belcher. So if that's the case, I might as well attack now. Maybe I should have even coined out the Cogmaster.
I must safeguard the land.
Okay, but he kind of does some of the work for me here. Alright, so let's say I coined out the Cogmaster last turn. Then this turn I could just Warsong Commander Cog. I do have the option of playing Commander, Cog, using one Cogmaster to kill the Slime, using the other Cogmaster to kill the Keeper, then run my Noyotron in. Then I'm left with Warsong Commander and Cogmaster. He has the hero power to kill the Cogmaster, or you can swipe. Swipe means he plays nothing, which means I get the initiative back. Alternate plays is to play the Piloted Shredder. Alright, I like this play enough. Not great. Not really great. Especially considering I'm running low on cards. It's one of those games where I'm going to need Jeeves, or I need him to not have any good responses. That's actually really, really good for me. Because it allows me to use this Cog without losing to hero power, and then just Death Spite and kind of like reset the board state. So coining out the Cog last turn means I could have Death Bited his 2-4. That's actually correct. Would I have wanted to do that? I think that would have been a nice play. Either way, I'd lose the coin, so really it's about what the final board state is like. So that would have been Death Spite versus, I guess, Warsong Commander. In the end, it worked out for me. I might have to look back and analyze it again, but I didn't think about the risk and reward as far as those cards go. Okay, so we attack the Druid of the Claw, we play Cruel Task to finish it off, and then we follow it up with Piloted Shredder. So we attack first, so that our task doesn't get damaged. And at this point in the game, we would really like a Jeeves, or even an Acolyte of Pain. Any one attack minion is also really good. Dr. Boom. I wanted a Dr. Boom. Shredder is not really that great here. I guess I could trade everything into the Dr. Boom.
What now?
I think I should save my Hobgoblin, because there are a lot of cards that I can draw into that make Hobgoblin good. I don't really want to trade into the Dr. Boom. I mean, if I go all face, he could Boombot attack, swipe, or just use Boombots to clear everything. I mean, if I clear, I'm left with a Piloted Shredder and something that spawns from Piloted Shredder. I think I lose if I trade anyways, so I might as well just go all face. I think I lose either way, to be honest. At the very least, this makes it more difficult for him to clear these 3 minions, because if I attack in the Dr. Boom with all 3 of these guys, then it's more efficient than if he had to attack with the Dr. Boom to kill 1, and then use the Boombots to kill the rest, because the Boombots might not actually hit the right targets. Like there, it hits face, which is good. Hits face, which is also good. And now, like, not attacking the Dr. Boom actually was kind of a good decision, because he used the Dr. Boom to try to clear the board anyways. Frothing Berserker. So maybe I should play Hobgoblin less turn, but... Well, at this point, this is very much a losing game. Even if I trade into the Dr. Boom, what's going to happen? He's going to trade into my Frothing Berserker with the Ancient of Lore. So what happens if I go all face again? He'll just clear these easy. Are there any draws that would help me? I don't think so. I guess I should clear the Dr. Boom, have the Lore trade. Yeah, I don't really like that. That seems really bad. I mean, what does putting him at 9 do for me? I mean, either way, this is just really bad for me, so... We'll attack and, like, maybe we'll get a really nice thing to pop up. Yeah, Noyotron! That was, like, the thing I was, like, really hoping for. So, this actually gives us a chance. A small, but possible chance. I still think it's highly unlikely given the number of cards in his hand. Like, I'm sure he probably has a swipe or, like, a silence to deal with this. But, you know, until he plays it, there's no guarantee. While he's attacking that? Maybe it's a BGH then. Oh, well. Alright, Druid the Claw works too for him, I guess. Second Anoyotron. Alright, I guess trading doesn't really make any sense, right? So just face. And then, like, we can still draw into Jeeves. And come back, I think. At this point. We'll see. I mean, we're still hanging on by a thread, which is pretty neat.
I have no time.
Sylvanas. The end is near. Alright, so we'll axe this. Trade. And then... I mean, if we clear, we lose. So I think we just keep going for face. We need a 5 damage draw. 5 damage draw, maybe even 6. I think we don't have any card that on its own will do that. He has 12 damage. And I don't think there are any draws that will save us, so we're dead. But we fought the good fight. We actually had a very slim chance of pulling it out. Because of the way the Shredder gave us the Inoyotron. And it would have been easy to overlook that. What could I have done differently? I could have played the Hobgoblin, I could have coined out the Cogmaster, a lot of things I could have done differently, but none of those really stand out to me as something that would have completely changed the nature of that matchup.
Garrosh versus Uther.
I will fight with honor. Victory!
Alright, Paladin matchup, we want our 2-drops, 1-drops, things that deal with hero power and Knife Juggler. So Warbot is okay. Warbot isn't that great, to be honest. Because if he plays a Knife Juggler next turn, the Warbot just dies to it. But we're going to play it anyways. Because we can enrage ourselves on the Zombie Chow. He can also use... interesting. Okay, so what are we most afraid of next turn? We're most afraid of maybe Muster. I think we pop the shield, we coin out the Acolyte of Pain. It's that or play nothing, I think. Alright, so we'll coin out the Acolyte of Pain.
Battle commencing.
Yeah, I think that previous game, I think I would have lost anyways, but you know, we gave ourselves potential outs. All right, so there's the Muster, but I'm gonna draw 2 cards from the Acolyte. Unfortunately, I can't clear the tokens quickly enough because I used the coin, which is what I was afraid of. Alright, we do have 1 turn before he can drop Muster. So what, he'll probably attack Chow plus weapon into the Warbot. And then he trades, which tells me he doesn't have the,
Reporting for duty.
he probably doesn't have Quartermaster. Well, if he has Quartermaster, I lose anyways. I can Death Spite this turn and attack him, get him lower, to set up the Whirlwind next turn. I don't really have any other better plays. I mean, I could Inoyotron, and then what could I play behind that? Cogmaster? He'd run one guy in, or he'd attack it, and then run the Zombie Chow in, then kill both guys with the Cogmaster. Which means it's Death Spite turn. The question is, do I want to attack him, or do I want to kill off one of these Silverhand recruits? I don't think that 4 damage is going to make that big of a difference quite yet. So we'll kill off one of these. Seems like a waste. But I want to make absolutely sure that Quartermaster does the least amount of damage to me.
Reporting for duty.
Alright, so do I want to buff my Frothing Berserker? I think the difference between 3 and 4 attack are the same. The question is, like, how about BGH? Is BGH an issue? I play 4 minions. It'll still be only a 6/4. He can attack to...
I wonder.
can buff it into BGH range. But of course, if he doesn't have an answer to it, then the game just snowballs out of control. So we'll take this chance. It's a very high-risk, high-reward play. Basically, this acts under the premise that he doesn't have BGH. Oh, that's true. If he, I was thinking, like, if he attacks it, it's going to buff the Frothing Berserker anyhow. But you're right, you're right. You guys are right. I don't know if I can... if I can protect this Frothing Berserker indefinitely. Like, if I just sit this turn... the Noyo-chan could just get True Silvered, and then he would kill it with the Sludge Belcher. So I think maybe it's better that...
Defensive systems online.
I just cash out on my Frothing Berserker while I can. And then play double Cogmaster to set up for our Jeeves in a future turn. So his best play here is a board clear, so Equality Consecrate or Pyro Consecrate. Maybe I should have held on to one Cogmaster, since having 3 minions is already kind of threatening enough. Okay, so far so good. He can True Silver the Jeeves, but that's actually like more than fine. So we'll play Jeeves, we'll play the weapon, obviously. We actually want to think about whether we want to attack the Silverhand Recruit here with the Screwjank Clanker. I think because Jeeves is a higher priority True Silver target, he's going to True Silver the Jeeves first, which means I think this is okay. Maximize damage. I guess maximizing damage would have been actually attacking him instead. Alright, so Tyrion, we can punch through Tyrion. Alright, so we attack, run both Cogmasters, and hit him for 2. Then how do we dump our hand the best? Hobgoblin plus Jeeves? Hobgoblin plus Acolyte? Probably Hobgoblin plus Acolyte. No Jeeves. No Jeeves value this turn. The thing about playing Hobgoblin plus Jeeves is that it gives him 2 targets he needs to kill. And I still get a card. And it's harder to kill Jeeves. He can't access. So if I play Hobgoblin plus Jeeves, he's gonna kill the Hobgoblin anyways. So I know I want to play Hobgoblin. And... Jeeves or Acolyte? Jeeves or Acolyte?